Today, I'm going to start off by giving you a reality check. I find it necessary as it's going to relate to what I'm going to be speaking to you about in helping your house. It's not going to be contestable. It's a true house fact. And it's a very accurate realism of where you are today, right this precise moment, and where you are on the road to a premature death, which we're all having in the Western world today. So let's get to it. Food production companies, they produce food to make you ill. That's a fact. It's actually lying on your kitchen table right this minute. A loaf of white bread with no less than 12 ingredients, all artificial and chemical, even got sugar in it. And all these products in your Sainsbury's, your Woolworths, your Walmart, etc., are all toxic to the human body. Every one of those products in the supermarket. You visit these supermarkets every day, every second day, third day, and you start over consuming on these toxic foods for the majority of the beginning stages of your life. Over consume them. Everybody over consumes in the Western world. And when you get to as early nowadays, your mid 20s, mid 30s, 40 if you're lucky, you start feeling ill. And this is when your body's saying, over all these years, they've had enough. They can't accommodate this excessive troughing of toxic foods. You're getting overweight. They don't know where to put the processed fats. Your glucose, fructose, and sugar levels are skyrocketing. Blood pressure's hitting the roof. So you go to the doctor, and the doctor with an underlying smile diagnoses you with an illness like cancer, heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, whatever. And that's what the job well done for the food production companies. They create toxic foods for you to get an unhealthy digestive system. All right? Job well done. Pat on the back. Next comes the big brother, their pharmaceutical company. And they start administrating pharmaceutical drugs through their famous salespeople, which is your family doctor and specialists. And all these pharmaceutical drugs are designed not to cure you. They are designed for you to attract additional illnesses and diseases through the side effects. Now, if you're taking medication at this present moment, look in your medication box, and there's a printed paper leaflet. It's what we call a PIL, and it's a patient information list. It describes the medication you're taking. Now, there will be a heading, side effects, and beneath that we printed no less than 6 to 8 side effects of that medication that will give you. If you're taking more than one medication a day, well, you can double the chances of you getting additional illnesses. All right. You will be taking that medication every day of your life. For example, a statin, which is a cholesterol lowering drug, and a blood pressure tablet. They love selling those two. They're the most common ones. You will be on that medication every day of your life, no matter how low your blood pressure will come down. You'll go to a doctor and say, my blood pressure's down. They will still give you a prescription or give you a new one. They won't take you off it. And while you're on that medication, you will attract other diseases and illnesses. You will be additionally medicated, and then you end up dying a premature death. Well done to the pharmaceutical companies. Objective achieved. They want you to get on their so-called prescription medication gravy train, and you'll die a premature death. Sound familiar? It is definitely you. It's definitely a member of your family, friend, or colleague. And it's definitely the path that everybody travels down to a premature death in the Western world. It's a fact. You can't get around it. That's where you are today. And just remember that when you're born, you've been given a long life. It's only us that choose to make it shorter. In other words, it's all our own fault. It's a fact. Remember this. This is where you are today. You can't argue it. Now, most people, when they want to, in the West, want to improve their health or overall well-being, they go off and get a nice fad health diet, an exercise routine, and probably some nutritional supplements. And Be that it may, I mean, further down the line, they might see a little bit of changes in their physique, obviously. They might lose weight or put on weight, whatever the objective is. But a lot of people presume that once they on these health regimes, like most people that have been doing this for years, these super health lifestyles, that they will naturally live longer and have better life, a health. But it's not true at all. I mean, if you look at these people, they die a premature death just like you and I do, normal people do, and they attract the same illnesses. They still get cancer, diabetes, even liver disease, and colon disease. So they are not getting healthier. They might look healthier. Why? Because internally their health hasn't changed. So, in other words, you're doing it incorrectly. If you want to get healthy, improve your body's health and mind. An exercise routine and a diet is not going to cut it. It's proven fact. Okay, it's a mainstream approach. What you have to understand is that if you want to improve one's health, you have to start with the digestive system. Now, what you have to understand about the digestive system is that it is the soul and the core of your body's health. All the health comes from your digestive system, but also all your mainstream diseases originate there as well, like your cancers, high blood pressure, colon disease, etc. It all originates in the digestive system. Now, the Western health organizations and government, pharmaceutical companies, and your famous food production companies, they don't want you to know this because they all profit off an unhealthy digestive system. That is their money pot. They've known for decades that all these diseases stem from the digestive system. And the longer they keep you unhealthy there, the more profit they make. Right? Now, governments are in it. I mean, they pass, if you look at those ingredients in all your foods today, like your bread as an example, I mean, the government and their FDA allow this. They allow food production companies and pharmaceutical companies to use toxic ingredients that are harmful to humans. That's the way they work. I mean, decades and decades ago, bread was just made with three ingredients: water, flour, and salt. That's it. Now we've got 12 ingredients, including sugar, and nothing's natural. That's where you are today. The digestive system is the origin of all disease, whether you like it or not. Now, I'm going to give you a proof of it. And this is not a long medical trial and report on testing 5,000 people, etc., etc. This is right in front of you. Right in front of you. This is going to prove that your digestive system gives off all the diseases you have today. Okay, so let's look at your primitive people, whether it be the Aborigines in the deep south of Australia, the Amazonian tribal people, the Eskimos, your Maasai tribe in Africa, your Mongolians in Asia. Have you ever seen a fat, obese one, like Western people? Do you see them littered in medical facilities and hospitals with our ailing diseases, heart disease and diabetes, etc.? No, you don't. You don't see them anywhere. Why? I mean, they're just like us. They live in the same world, but not the Western world. The reason being is you don't see them every day trotting down with a full trolley load of toxic food from our supermarkets every day. They don't overconsume on toxic foods. They only eat off the land, which is organic. They only eat when they need to, and they only eat when they need energy. Simple. And nowhere. Even in their homeland, they don't have a hospital or medical clinics. They live off the land. Secondly, there's another proof that's right on your doorstep. Get in your car and drive through your neighborhood or town or city, and you will come across homeless people, right? Now, have you ever seen a beast homeless person waddling down the street looking so unhealthy? No, you don't. You don't see them littered again in our medical clinics and hospitals with all our funny diseases like we have. They're not on continuous medication. No, why? It's exactly the same thing. You don't see them every day waltzing down the supermarket. They're not over consuming toxic foods. They're not taking tons of medication. And they don't know when they're going to get the next meal. So they're not eating continuously. Right? And the findings at the end is it's not only that they are not over consuming on our toxic supermarket foods and on multi medication prescriptions, it's because they have a healthier digestive system. In other words, a healthier gut flora. The reason being is that their digestive system is resting most of the time, where ours is working 24/7. We're chomping down 3 to 6 meals a day at large proportions, where they only eat 1 meal a day, maximum two, and that's ideal for the human body. The human body is not designed for 3 to 6 meals a day, especially on toxic food. It's clear. It's a medical fact, and that's where you're going wrong. That's where you're having premature deaths. That's why you're on medication every day of your life. Primitive people not on medication. Why? They're the same as us. Your homeless guy is living in the same city as you are. Eating the strawberries is obviously the same food, but at less quantities. And they're living longer as you. And they don't, not on medication. Homeless people might be in hospital because they are overindulging on drugs and alcohol to deal with their dire lifestyle. You know, they might have some dementia as well. But they're not on continuous medication. And be surprisingly, they actually live quite long. They have a long life. They don't look well, but they are well. So there's your proof. Remember, we've been what I've said now, what I've mentioned, is where you are today. It's fact. You can't contest this. This is where you are today. This is why you're getting ill. This is why you're dying a premature death. So, the eat to live and not live to eat principle. A medical researcher in India was always answered this when he was asked, how do I improve my health correctly? And he always explained this principle to everybody that asked him. And the people that actually adopted this principle, eat to live and not to live to eat, within 2 weeks, their body instantly rewarded them with health benefits. No matter what ailment they had, no matter if they had cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, all their markers were reduced within 2 weeks. They weren't on any clinical trial. They weren't on a diet. They weren't on an exercise routine. All what the principal demanded from them is some some mental effort and some honesty from their part. That's it. It also asked them for 2 weeks of their precious life. That's all. You try it for 2 weeks, and you're welcome to record your findings in the comments. Go for it. You've got nothing to lose. Now, in order to benefit from this principle, there's two things you have to understand from our anatomy that has to be met. Firstly is something that we've forgotten for a long time, is that our body only needs food for energy. Now, people, it doesn't need 3 to 6 meals a day for energy. Now, what are you doing with it? You're not active enough to burn all that food. It's getting stored in your body and turning into bacteria. Okay? It only needs food for energy. It needs food for energy so it can get you from A to B physically. And secondly, it needs to absorb the nutrients from that food in order to feed its cells and its tissues, etc., internally to survive. That's all it needs. It only sends you a message that your body's hungry because it needs a little bit more energy. Hence, the principle, eat to live. Only eat when you need energy. Exactly what a homeless person is doing and all the tribes in the world, north, east, west, and south. Okay? They're doing exactly the same thing. They're only eating food when they need to. We're not. We're troughing down 24/7. Secondly, this is the interesting one, and this one you can monitor when you eat, whenever you do, is that When your stomach is empty, it's the size of a fist. Clench your fist and put it in the middle of your stomach. That's the size of your stomach when it's empty. And your stomach can naturally and comfortably hold 1 liter of mixed food and fluid or liquid. Okay? Yet it can expand 3 to 4 times that size. And this happens when you overindulge. This happens when, instead of having 1 or 2 pieces of pizza, we eat the whole damn pizza with a 500 milliliter Coke or soda. All right? That's when you stretched your stomach to its max, and that's when you got that saying, I'm uncomfortably full. Okay? And everybody knows about that feeling. All right? Can't hardly walk. Have to go for a snooze now. And that's when you're at max. All right? Now, 1 liter of mixed food and liquid will take about 4 to 5 hours to digest slowly. Okay? Leave your stomach and go into your small intestine and colon, etc. 3 to 4 times that size amount of food, it's going to take sometimes 24 hours, 36 hours to get that meal processed. Now, it's sad because the majority of the people in the West are over consuming and eat 3 to 6 meals. Therefore, your digestive system is not getting rest. It is pounding away 24/7, grinding down all this food that you're troughing down unnecessarily. It's not using as energy. It's not allowing it. You're not allowing it to use that energy. You're just troughing more food down, and that's where we're getting ill. And that's where we all fall into this principle where we live to eat, and that's giving us a premature death. Simple. Done. Now that you understand this, now that you understand that you only eat when you need energy, and we cannot carry on over troughing on toxic foods every day like we are at the moment, and just living to eat. Now we can implement this principle. How are we going to do that? Let's go for it. Let's start off with the day with breakfast. It's a standard meal that everybody does. You don't have to have it. But let's just start as an example. Start off with breakfast, and then thereafter off you go. You trundle off to work, and it comes to that famous time. What's it? 10 o'clock tea time. Everybody just drops their pens and closes their laptops and flocks down to the bistro across the road or into their work canteen. And this is the period where you have to, this is where your mental effort and honesty comes in. This is a difficult one. Okay, it's a big challenge, this one. And whenever you come into contact with food or an opportunity to just eat, like now in the canteen, you have to ask these 3 questions. Number one, do I really need this food? Does my digestive system really need this? Do I need this food for energy? Now you can sit down and try and get into sync with your body. Are you so depleted in energy you can't climb the stairs that you need something to eat? No, you're not. Why? Because your body is still digesting your breakfast, right? You don't need the food. I mean, you feel tempted, walk away. Go have a cigarette. Go to the courtyard. Go speak to someone else. But you don't have to eat. It's a no. You don't. You're eating out of convenience. Secondly, you'll carry on through the whole day with these 3 questions. You can come to lunchtime, you can sit down, you're going to ask those questions. Do I need this food? Do I need this food for energy? Does my digestive system need this? And you can say, well, it's been more 4 or 5 hours. My body has digested my breakfast, so maybe I can have a little meal. Have one. Okay. So when it comes to afternoon tea, you're going to need more food? No, you don't. Okay. Your body's still digesting your lunch. Come to supper? Yeah. Have some supper with the family. Okay. No, you're not going to have a little snack before bedtime. Why? Because your body's still digesting your supper. Now you can go through the whole day asking those 3 questions. And the other very important thing is when you decide to eat, you keep it to the 1 liter mixed fluid and food portion. It's no use doing 3 meals of 3 to 4 liters of food and liquid. Why? Because your body's digestive system is going to just carry on working 24/7. We want to give it a chance to relax. And this is where it comes to when you start to sleep. When you come to the evening, you've done your day, You've done your 3 little meals. Now you're starting to go to sleep without your midnight snack. Okay? And while you're sleeping, your body now is starting to relax. Your digestive system is relaxing because all your food during the day is pretty much passed through your stomach and your small intestine. It's sitting pretty much in your colon getting further digested. So majority of your digestive system is chilling out. And that's where you want this balance. Before, it's still working. It's still working 24/7 because you can wake up and do another 6 meals a day, snacking and eating and not giving your digestive system a break. So yeah, now it's getting a slight better balance and it's relaxing, right? It's able has the body has an opportunity to use that energy that has been digesting, where before it doesn't. It just starts packing. All right. Now, once you start doing this for a few days, you will start seeing some changes happening and feeling changes happening with your body. Number one, you can be aware that you've actually halved your food intake and your portions of food, which is a great feed. Because the reason is whenever somebody wants to change a bad habit in their lives, it's not really a physical one, it's a mental one. It's a battle with your subconscious. Your subconscious like stacks all these bad habits of yours that you just do automatically without thinking, like just eating all the time, socially and conveniently. Just walking into the kitchen, just opening the fridge and having a snack and closing it and walking out again. All those kind of actions, your subconscious stores. Now you're starting to actually beat your subconscious because, and that's a great war because that's a great win because you've halved your food intake, you've halved your proportions of food, you're not conveniently just troughing out away, right? So that's a good win. Secondly, that you are really now starting to feel and getting to tune with your body, knowing when your body needs energy. You can feel that change. That now my body doesn't need food for energy, right? And that's proven because you've gone through these good few days with reducing your food intake and your portions of food. It's a great feat. Second one, the phase, this is a little bit further on down the line in your 2 weeks, say like in a weekend, is that internally you're going to see some differences and feel some differences. Now don't be scared of this because this is a good thing. It's a good sign. Yeah, your body, you're going to feel a little bit of nausea, you're going to be lightheadedness, and you're going to have a bit of diarrhea. Okay? And don't be scared of this. The reason being is your body is adjusting accordingly to your halved intake of food and proportion of food that you're consuming. So what's happening is normally your pancreas produces enzymes that get sent to your intestine to break down all the foods that the stomach's digested for you in order to absorb all those nutrients. Now, because of your limited intake now and proportions of food, it doesn't need all these enzymes. Normally it did, because you've been troughing away all the time, but it doesn't. This is hanging around. So it's starting to get rid of the excess enzymes and everything. And that's the change that's happening. And that's what makes you feel a little bit unill. You might like an acidic hole in your stomach. Don't go eat. Normally, an acidic hole, burning sensation in your stomach means I'm hungry. It's not. It's a false sign of hunger. Okay? So that's what's happening. It's going to last for a day or 2 or 3. For me, it lasted 2 days. But just go through it. Keep on asking those 3 questions. Keep on eating the way you've been. And most importantly, keep hydrated. Keep having some water with you. All right. And you'll be fine. You'll walk through it. Okay. The next phase is an interesting one. This is where you actually feel and see your rewards. Starts playing around, coming into play towards the end of the 2 week period. Okay. Yeah, you're going to start feeling a little bit more energetic. You're going to be more mental alert. Your joints are going to be all your joints are going to be more fluid. Okay, if you have arthritis, you're going to feel a little bit better. Definitely, no matter what ailment you have, whether you even got cancer or high blood pressure or diabetes, all those markers will be reduced. I can guarantee you. Go have your blood pressure checked. It's going to be lower. I guarantee you that. Your overall well-being of your house is going to increase. It's going to be positive. Okay? And this is a great feat because now your body is totally balancing out. Okay? It's getting to a point where it's adjusted itself because of your efforts and your change of your eating habits, and now it's in a more balanced state. Right? And when people have taken on this principle and reached this point, they never go back to natural or mainstream eating habits or troughing. Never go back to it because they actually feel ill after they eat too much. And thereafter, you'll find that these people start actually only having 1 to 2 meals a day. That's your real objective. First of all, is taking on the principle and getting your digestive system in a more healthy state and limiting your intake of toxic foods and proportions of foods that you're eating. When you get that right, after that third phase, you start, ideally, we'd like to have 1 to 2 meals a day. That's where your body, that's what your body is designed for. It's not designed for 3 to 6 meals a day at all. Look at the primitive guys. Look at your homeless guy. They're not even eating 3 meals a day. They're eating 1 meal a day or two. I eat 1 meal a day and it works. I can guarantee you. And thereafter, once you get down, even down to 1 to 2 meals a day, or even just to 3 meals a day, that's a feat for a lot of people. That's a win. Even just getting down to 3 meals a day, that's great. But if you can get to 1 to 2 meals, perfect at a later stage. And then once you're there, then you can actually start taking on a diet. Not diet, but just changing your eating habits, like kicking out a majority of processed and toxic foods from the supermarket and rather replacing them with natural organic foods and animal fats and proteins. I mean, that's a brilliant adaptation. All right. Secondly, you also can take on an exercise routine. For sure, go to the gym. You want to bulk up or get toned or whatever, then you can do it. But why? Because then you'll see proper health gains. Because first of all, you've done it correctly. You started off with the digestive system. Then after that, once you got that right, like you have now, then you start taking on a better diet, changing your foods, and then you take on an exercise routine. Your nutritionist or your gym instructor or personal trainer, even doctors, don't have any idea of this. They're not trained in this information at all. It's actually withheld from them. They don't want them to know. They just must prescribe, and nutritionists and personal instructors are just meant to actually provide mainstream misinformation or for health. It's totally true. It's proven. It's fact. They don't know this, right? So now that you've got your digestive system in order, now you can, and your meals in order, it's in a healthy state, now you can even make it even more healthier by taking on a good diet, as mentioned before, and some exercise. Done. And that's the way you start to improve one's health today. That will protect you from all these diseases that we're getting. That will help you to increase your longevity and overall better health in your life. You'll live longer, and that will keep you off mainstream medication. Your primitive person, people in the world, north, south, east, west, in the world, are all the same. They are not on medication every day, and they're not dropping down 3 to 6 meals of toxic food. It's a proof in the pudding. You can't get more better proof than that. And it's a medical true fact. Right? It's only 2 weeks of your time. Just 2 weeks. And remember, we are born with a long life. It's only us that choose to make it shorter. And that's what we're doing. We have to change.